you guys, it's Wendy coming to you with a project share. I am partnered up with somebody over at the Art Across the Miles Facebook group, and our task was to do a gratitude journal, which is basically altering one of those typical composition notebooks. But I also have been busying myself basically giving her extras. In that particular group, if you go to the files, you can find that each person who belongs to the group has included things that they like. And in this case, my partner Cherub is into watercolor. So what I did is I got into my stash and I dug out my Peerless transparent watercolors. Those come in sheets. That's kind of unusual for watercolor. They're sheets of paper that are just heavily doused in watercolor. And so what I did is I made little samples of each of those sheets and I stuck them on watercolor cards, and then basically spent this morning doing little samples in the middle of these circles. And then also for myself, I'll kind of show you in one of my notebooks, I've got those circles that I punched out here. And so those will be fun for me to kind of play with as I decide to. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to include these watercolor cards with the samples of the Peerless watercolors. See if I can kind of move stuff around here. I'm still in the hotel, you guys. Our contractor said that we would be here through October 11th, that's the finish date. So kind of going a little cabin crazy here. Oops, got my little address forms all filled out here. So I have a selection of tags, just little tags, little shapes and things, some bigger tags. And then I dug through all of my art stuff is kind of hanging out in our laundry room right now while things are being finished. And so I had all these samples of watercolor paper that I've gotten from different resources, whether it's online companies. Here's a tiny little canvas. This came from Stillman and Byrne, and it's little paper samples from these different types of papers. So you can just see, here's a little vellum book, and you can watercolor on vellum, so I included that. I had this little Yupo notebook of 10 sheets of 5x7 pieces of Yupo, and it's, again, really good for watercolor. And finally, these different sample sheets that I had ordered from this watercolor company, and a few little extras here. So, I mean, I rarely watercolor. I thought I was going to get into it, but it's just probably not practical. And so I'm going to go ahead and pass those on to her, and hopefully she'll find some joy in those. And that way I'm not, hoarding and keeping supplies that really are not, something that I'm working on at this point in time. It seems like I'm more of a collage-y, altered book kind of person. So that's what I'm going to send on to her. And then for the thing that we actually were supposed to make, this is what I made her. Let's see here. So yeah, this is just a typical, go to the Dollar Tree, little lined notebook. I'm not sure of the dimensions, but anyway, I covered it with some of my collages. In this case, I was going for kind of a water, ocean, mermaid type vibe. I've got all of these fibers that I've included, and a few little beads and things. I've got a turquoise bead, a dark blue bead, this little plastic steering wheel, a little anchor is in here. So kind of fun. Everything here is collaged and painted papers, and then of course I've got the Lotteria card here for the mermaid. On the inside, I've got some more of my, a lot of people call them Franken papers. I've been doing this for years before the term was coined, but basically it's taking your scraps and pasting them down to a different sheet of paper and then using that as your background. So I included that. The edges finished with some washi tape that is metallic blue. I've got this little quote here that says, nature never did betray the heart that loved her. It's a William Wordsworth quote. And on the other side, we've got another quote as well. So of course I left the papers blank. The whole idea is that it's a gratitude journal, right? So that you're, working in it daily and being thankful for the things that you have and not bemoaning the things that you don't have. Which is apropos for me creating this and actually receiving one from Cherub because, we've been in a hotel basically since the end of August, and so, really I get crabby about it and I miss my home and I miss my things, but I have a lot to be thankful for. So anyway, it reminded me of that. I've got this envelope, and then of course there's another little envelope here in the back. And then here's the back with kind of a human mermaid. So anyway, I just thought I would share that with you guys. Hopefully you're well, and I will be back posting videos here shortly. All right, thanks.